that door doesn't open. I'm not sure why. That's a different issue. What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And as you guys saw from the thumbnail or the title, yeah, another one followed me home. Let me explain. It was sitting on the side of the road dead. It had a sheriff's sticker on the passenger window that it was going to get towed off to impound. Long story short, I ended up finding the owner, contacting the owner, and offering to buy their poor Jeep off the side of the road. And I don't know why. I have no space right now. If you guys didn't know, we are currently in the process of building a new home. So we're in a rental with a 2-car garage. So I do not have my large 6-car garage that I had months ago. So I have no garage space, and yet we're dragging home another project vehicle, but it's kind of special, or maybe was special in its day. So let's go walk around this thing and look at it and figure out what the heck we're gonna do with this. I don't know, but let's go look at it and then let's decide together. So guys, this is a 2004, obviously, WJ Jeep Grand Cherokee. It is an Overland. Now this is the super high level trim. It does have the rock rails down here, which are super rare. And again, even more rare not to be completely rusted into oblivion. Now this thing obviously was kind of left for dead or broken down on the side of the road. And honestly, the outside of the body does not look bad at all. We do have a little bit of a dent here. If you guys can see, wheels and tires are in really bad shape, obviously, but honestly, it doesn't look that bad from the outside. But yeah, that's kind of where it ends, because as we go into this thing, it's dirty. I'll just say it like that, I guess. And again, I don't know how much you guys will be able to pick up, but literally everywhere is full of trash, dirt, nothing good. There is nothing good. And in the back, there was kids. And by kids, I mean, I think they gave them literally any type of food possible. The kids then proceeded to throw the food on the seats, and the car seats were mashing it down. It's not a good sight back here, but if you look past the absolutely filthy interior, the leather's honestly in really good shape. There's so much food, I don't even know what to say. The smell isn't too bad, but it's really dirty. Now coming around to the back of this thing, you have the normal WJ dent here on the back that, I don't know, almost every single one has dents up here on the back corners, but not rusty. Factory trailer tow, and you do see that badge. It is a 4.7 HO with Quadra Drive. That is all the meat and potatoes. That's everything on it. I believe we've got even more filthiness here in the back, and that kind of brings us to one of our issues. Coolant jugs. There's like 3 coolant jugs up there. There's a coolant jug back here. There's power steering fluid and transmission fluid. And that's what left this thing on the side of the road. There was a little bit of a coolant problem. Now jumping under the hood, it is the 4.7 HO, obviously. I did look at the part numbers down there on the cylinder heads. It is still the 4.7 HO. I do have the battery pulled out charging, but yeah, it's gotten very, very hot. There is a small little crack here in the radiator, and I think the guy had just been feeding this thing coolant and driving it until bad things happened. Like I said, I got in contact with the owner and offered him some money for this thing, kind of sight unseen, since I hadn't ever really got to drive it. He had the keys, and yeah, so he did tell me today that the thing got hot, made a pop, and he shut it off and coasted to the side of the road. So I don't know what that means. Was that just the coolant? Was that timing chains? I tried to crank it over, and it cranks over very freely. It does not sound like it has good compression. Yeah, I'm nervous. The motor is not happy. He then also let me know that, hey, the transmission's been kind of funny and the power steering's been kind of funny. So we've got a lot of issues. We've got a lot of things wrong with this thing, and I'm worried that it may be too much for this poor WJ, but I don't know. We need to dig into it. We need to, at first, get the thing to run. What I need to do is, you know, do a compression check, see where compression is. Are we low on compression on all the cylinders? Is there just a few cylinders low on compression? What's the issue? Why does it not start? Did it jump timing? Do we have some broken timing chain guides? Not terribly common on 4.7 stuff, but they do get worn and come apart. I have no idea. This does not look terribly healthy under the hood, but fortunately or unfortunately, the thing just looks kind of solid and not that destroyed. Yes, it's a complete mess inside. It's a leaky mess underneath, but it's not rusty, and that's a big deal on WJs. Most of the ones you see are just completely rusted and falling apart at this point in their life. This thing's solid. So I don't know, will we get an engine in it? Will we just be able to put a cylinder head on it? Is it gonna be a scrap vehicle that we steal some parts off and throw it off in a salvage yard? I have no idea. I have no room to work on this thing since I don't have the big garage still. And yeah, what a horrible time to get into a project, but it was a really clean Overland, or not clean, it was an altogether Overland that's not rusty, and I don't know what I was thinking, guys. Hopefully we can dig into the motor and figure out if it just needs a cylinder head. That would be best case scenario, but again, I'm kind of worried it's hurt. But even if it's hurt, if the engine's hurt, the transmission's hurt, and it's not worth putting money into, we've got a lot of good parts we can salvage or harvest off this thing. We've got good rock rails, we've got good parts and pieces, we've got a HO intake, we've got a HO airbox. I mean, there's a lot of good parts. HO cams, pending they aren't hurt. I did check the engine oil, and it does have oil. It is very black and burn up, but it does have oil in the motor. That's kind of a big thing. But again, the interior, albeit absolutely filthy, the seats really aren't in bad shape. They aren't torn up. The driver's seat is a little more worn, obviously, but the seats, they aren't destroyed. The dash isn't destroyed, it's filthy. But we've got an RB1 radio over there. It's got all the stuff. It's just absolutely filthy. That door doesn't open. I'm not sure why. That's a different issue. Now we do even have a spare wheel. I don't know if I want to call that a spare tire, but we do have a fifth wheel, which is good because if we take a look over here at the left front, yeah, that's like a 3 or 4 inch section of bead missing and the tire's ripped open. So that's done for. The wheel and tire there is completely trashed, but luckily we still have the spare in the back. So guys, what do we do with this thing? Budget, no option. Gosh, 5.7 swap, LS swap, something cool, but we're on a budget and we have no facilities. We have no big garage. We're gonna be doing some street repairs on this thing. I don't know, like I said, we need to do a compression check. We need to figure out if we've got any cylinders low on compression. We would then pull the valve cover off on that side and figure out, you know, do we have a rocker knocked off? Do we have a valve spring broken? Do we have a valve seat dropped from it being overheated? Can we just put a cylinder head on this thing and make it start? I have no idea, and that's what we're gonna have to figure out. But it's kind of a cool frame to a project here on a really kind of altogether Overland. I don't know. It's a horrible idea. I don't know what I'm thinking. This is bad timing, but I couldn't let it die out on the street. I had to bring it home. It was a lost puppy. I had to give it a leash and drag it home with, of course, the original, the Burgundy, the cheap Jeep, whatever you call it, the OG here on the channel. And it drug it home, and now it's got to get worked on. So I hope we aren't pulling an engine out of a salvage yard to put in this thing and doing it in a street, but it may come to that. Let's not have it come to that. But we've got another dumb Jeep on the channel. So sorry guys who hate all of the Jeep content. We do have some cool TRX stuff. I've got new parts coming. I've got a part already here. I've got parts for the TRX. So TRX stuff is coming. We're getting ready to race the Mini Cooper in like next weekend. I'll be out autocrossing the Mini, so there's other stuff coming, not just crappy old Jeeps. So bear with me, and I don't know, cheer me on or don't cheer me on. It's a horrible idea, but my wife did find this one broken on the road, and she told me about it. I never saw it until she told me. So I'm blaming it on her when this goes poorly, and it costs way more than it should. So it's her fault. She can't complain about it because she told me. So I'm free and clear on this one. And guys, hopefully we'll get this thing moving. And God, I don't know what we're doing with it, but we got to make it run because it's a 4.7 HO and it's Verilok axles and filthy interior. You could survive in here for many weeks because it's full of food, but survival, I don't know. I'm rambling, guys. And thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Hopefully not with another WJ dragging behind the Jeep coming home. I'm out of space. You guys got storage at your house? Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know what I'm doing.